All right, well, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. You are listening to Resource Network Radio, and we are streaming live right now through 8 different Facebook pages in over 30 countries through our affiliate stations and through Unity Networks, Wolfpaw Radio, and the Chat Room Network. And boy, I have a special guest this morning, and I have Terri DelCampo with me right now. How are you, Terri?
I'm good. How are you, Renee?
Well, I'm doing better than I was yesterday, but I'm hanging in here, and I'm really honored to be able to talk to you again because, number one, I had heard a little rumor the other day about you guys have a new book coming out, and I wanted to kind of catch people up on some of the things that both you and Blaze McRobb have been doing at Blazing Owl Press, and, of course, the work that you're doing, and, being on the forefront of the good news that you're going to be having coming out pretty soon. So how's that all going on your end?
Everything's going really well. We have, I just released the Owl's Eye View magazine end of the year bundle for 2015, which is half price on Amazon. So that's actually the one that we just released. And we have one coming up in February that is Ghost No More, but that'll be which is by Blaze McRobb, which is by probably toward the end of February that'll be released. The current stuff right now is the Owl's Eye View magazine bundle, and that I just released on January 11th, and it has every issue uncut of Owl's Eye View magazine from last year, from 2015. The individual issues would be 99 cents a piece. The bundle is $5.99, so it's almost exactly half price of what readers would pay if they bought the magazine issue by issue.
Right, because that's a monthly issue. So that's 12 issues of Owl's Eye View magazine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's got everything in it. It's got all the columns and, all of the updates and all of the editor's notes and everything in it, just like the regular issues do. And it's all in there. So, and it's in there cheap. So,
yeah, and it's like getting a big book.
Yeah. Oh, it's big. I mean, it's 12 issues, and the issues average like about 40 pages an issue. So, it's a huge book. It's a chunky one. So lots of ookie inside.
So yeah, if you love horror, Owl's Eye View magazine, you can find it at Amazon. Obviously, and you can find Terri DelCampo's page there too at Amazon. And Terri is Terri, and DelCampo DEL. Capital C-A-M as in Mary, P as in Paul, O, Terri DelCampo. And yeah, Owl's Eye View magazine, so you have the whole compilation of last year in one edition that people can get really basically, that's half priced. And I think you have the new issue out for January too, don't you, for this year?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
so you can...
monthly issue. It comes out on the 11th of each month. So, and it has... 4 columns, and it has one's a historical column of the little town of Owl's Nest, and there's always stories in there by Margie Taggart, and it's all about people in Owl's Nest. It's and their little stories and little haunted businesses and little haunted properties, and it's all set in the little town of Owl's Nest. And then there's Visceral Verse, which is it's horror poetry by Lisa Galloway, who also has a website or a blog just for her non-horror poetry as well, Lisa Galloway at Blogspot. And then there's Macabre Mirth, which are very brief little flash fiction vignettes. And then there's a full-length short story of mine each month, and plus an editor's note, which is from me. That's just kind of an update of what's going on with Owl's Eye View and related stories and what's going on with me personally sometimes.
Yeah, and it looks like in January's issue that just came out, you have Jeremiah Coe is also featured in your Terry's bookshelf because you have a.
No, that was December.
Oh, that was December. It says.
Yeah, but the Terry's bookshelf, I'm doing as a separate blog within some of my writers' blogs. I have right now with Terri DelCampo on Blogspot, and I'm doing the Terry's bookshelf on there because it was doing the research for Terry's bookshelf in order to feature a specific writer each time.
That's a lot of work.
It was pulling my time away from the fiction, and Owl's Eye View is primarily a dark fiction magazine. So I have a blog called Right Now with Terri DelCampo, and it's all kinds of writing tips and writing articles and my take on issues about writing and the writing industry. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing a sub blog of Terry's bookshelf occasionally on there where I'll plug a writer or feature a book that I've read that I'm impressed with. But Jeremiah Coe is an extremely good writer. He has an Amazon page, and he writes horror, but he's switching to Christian fiction. And but the book that I covered in Terry's bookshelf last month was Far From Home, which is it's a novel, but it's from the point of view of a combat soldier in, I think it was Iraq, and it's extremely, extremely good. And the proceeds from that book are going to Operation Ward 57, which is a very good veterans cause.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
So I will, I enjoy plugging that book because it's a cause that I believe in, and he's an excellent writer that I enjoy.
Yeah, and I hate to be interrupting over you, and I'm sorry about that, but one of the reasons why I want to talk to you too, and also I want to give a lot of praise to Blaze Book Rob, or Robert Nelson, as Facebook makes him post out as, but all the stuff that you do to help other people and help other writers, it's really kind of you guys, and you're doing good things in the world that way. So thank you so much for the stuff that you do. And again, you can go to...
Thank you, Renee, because you do that too.
Well, that's why like attracts like, but that's why I think it's important that we all network and help each other too. And so that's why I said, hey, I want to talk to you because I heard some good news of stuff going on. Plus, I want to make sure people are updated with what you guys got going on. And again, you can find www.terridelcampo.com. And you do have a lot of stuff here that people can see. And addition to your fiction writing, obviously you do have several blogs that you do. And you're doing Right Now with Terri DelCampo.
Uh-huh.
And you do the Disability Challenge with Terri DelCampo.
Yes, I was disabled in 2009 in an automobile accident. And since then I have, for everything from getting Social Security disability to, to how to get on and off of a toilet in a public bathroom that doesn't have grab bars. There's all kinds of little tips that I put in there, equipment that I found online, furniture that I found online that's helpful, and I have articles about all of it, and I put it up online because I know that there's a lot of people that are disabled and having a hard time, and it's like an obstacle course, so I kind of drew my little map through it, so I blog about that.
Yeah, and that's really, really nice of you because really there are a lot of people that face those types of issues, and so you can find those blogs, which are nonfiction, that she's got. They're at their links here at www.terridelcampo.com. And yeah, thank you for doing that too because it's important, and like I said, it's wonderful that you share with other people and that you're helping other people. So kudos to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It just seems like the right thing to do. Helping people out. It's there's always that. I mean, the fiction is fun, and and it's good to get the creativity going and everything. But when it comes right down to it, it's how you deal with real life has to be in there sometimes too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and yeah, and if other people did the same thing, and everybody did something kind like that, the world would be a whole different spot in that place. So,
Oh, that's
yeah,
true.
that's why I appreciate you guys so much because of how much you do to help other people, and that, and of course you're obviously very great writers, and that's the important part too because, you know. Obviously you're following your passion and doing what you love and to do, and that's really a plus because a lot of people say, hey, I'm going to do this, but then they never do, but you're actually following your heart and doing what you want.
Thank you. That's it's imperative. I mean, without the writing, I mean, I've been writing since I was 11 years old, and I can't imagine my life without it. Without a notebook in my purse,
Mm-hmm.
and computer files all over the place and stories in progress. Yeah, I mean, I just can't imagine my life without the writing projects in it because it's always just been there in my life, and I've built life around it too, and
Yeah.
it's always, no matter how busy I am in reality with, raising children and getting married or earning a living, it's still been there and it's been prominent and a priority with me.
Because that's what you chose. One of the things that I kind of talked about this week is chance and choice, and it's really about the choices that we make in life. And if you're looking deep in yourself and you're following your passion and doing what you want to do and making those choices to do that, then really things just kind of open for you, and that's how your life ends up being. You really create your own life, and you're a really good example of that. Here you are, you've created your own life.
Yes.
Yeah, you're living life. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And even you're talking about doors opening up. Some of them open by accident,
Mm-hmm.
and it turns out to be a good thing and everything falls into place around it. Like meeting Blaze online. I met him when he did a review of my magazine. So not only did my magazine give me a way to reinvent myself when I was first disabled and I had no idea where I was going to go because I couldn't go back to work, but it eventually led me to the man that I fell in love with and married, and he's sitting here, and and we write together and work together and publicize together.
Right, yeah, because you have
Blaze a lot together.
Yeah, and you have Blazing L Press, which obviously is a coordinated effort between both of you. And again, I have nothing but really good things to say for Blaze McRobb too, because just like you, he helps so many people in the world. But yeah, it's just interesting, like you're saying, how doors opened up when you really, like by accident, because you're following your heart and doing what you feel like you need to do, although you may not know why am I really doing this, but when you're doing it, then those things happen. And that really is a good example for people, I think, because a lot of people are afraid to do what they feel like doing because they're, oh, I got to do this because I can't really do that. I wouldn't be able to, yeah. But no, you took a risk and you chose, this is what I'm choosing to do, and then look at how beautiful things really do work out.
Oh, absolutely. The other thing that happened by accident is when I was starting up these blogs, because I wanted to, have a say and put my 2 cents in about writing and put my 2 cents in about disabilities and everything. But I started. I live 800 miles away from my grandchildren, and when I was first disabled, I used to Skype my granddaughter. She was 3 at the time. And I wrote a bunch of stories for her called Princess Rosie Stories. And they're little adventures and little lessons and little, just little stories. And I enjoyed writing them, and I would read them to her on Skype. And then when I started my blogs, living this far away, communication is really difficult. And my daughter and son-in-law we're a little bit on the estranged side, so it's been a challenge to keep in touch with my grandchildren. So I started this blog called the Rojo Adventure Blog, and I put the Princess Rosie stories on it. But I realized that my grandson, who's now 7 and going into first grade, I didn't have any stories that were centered on him, so I started to write Kid Joey stories. And I'm evening the score and publishing them on the Rojo Adventure blog. And as soon as I get them caught up, so now there's the Princess Rosie stories, which I had like 30 some of them, and now I'm writing Kid Joey stories, and I've got them almost caught up to the Princess Rosie stories. And I'm going to introduce, probably toward the end of next month, the Team Rojo stories, which combines Rosie and Joey as, like, they're kids with powers, and they have friends with powers. And I've been doing, I entered the NaNoWriMo contest, the National Novel Writing Month contest, that you write a 50,000 word novel within the 30 days of November. And I was trying to clear my schedule, and I was like, I'm going to have to make time to do the Rojo blogs while I'm writing a novel for NaNoWriMo. And Blaze suggested that I just make the NaNoWriMo project the Rojo project. And I was like, oh. So I wrote the Team Rojo Quest, the first book, Malicious Curse, as my NaNoWriMo project. And I won. I got it done in like 22 days. And it's 59,000 words. And I'm going to just publish the chapters each month as one of the Rojo Adventure blogs. So that's coming up next month, and I'm really excited about it because it's a whole quest and adventure, and it introduces a bunch of characters that are really cool for the Princess Rosie and Kid Joey themes too. You know, it bounces off of that, and because Rosie's 9 now, and I wanted to give her a little bit more meatier storyline, and Joey's going into first grade, so he can handle it. I mean, between Rosie and him reading those blogs together, they can help each other understand what's going on. And so it's really cool. It's about an evil witch that curses Rosie and Joey's mother's side of the family, and they're going after this evil witch, and so it should be really good. And it'll be a weekly blog, like the Kid Joey and Princess Rosie ones. So I've been having fun with that. You know, Blaze will be looking over at me because I'll be laughing, you know, and he'll go, "You're writing dark fiction and you're laughing," and it's like, "No, I'm writing Rojo." You know?
Well, and they can find that blog. They can find that blog at rojoadventureblog.blogspot.com. And again, that is at terrydelcampo.com. You'll find the link there too, but just want to point that out. And you can follow that. And are you doing that like weekly or?
I do. Right now, I'm doing Princess Rosie, and I'm also doing Kid Joey stories. They're weekly blogs. They come up every week, and they're free. It's more of a labor of love for my grandchildren, just so that they know I'm thinking about them, you know. But, you know, those blogs took off. Blaze posts about them, and they get more hits than the horror stuff.
Well, I think it's important, really. I think that's cool, though. I think it's really important, though, that kids have good literature, too. And I think, really, blogs are a great way to reach people. I think it's really important to be blogging like that. And, you're getting a very big following on this. And are you going to actually make it be a book later on, or what are your plans?
I don't know. I want to always make sure. See, when you publish a book, even a Kindle book on Facebook or on Amazon, you kind of they don't like it at all if you have it up free anywhere, obviously. So I would have to take down the stories that are on the blog if I put them up as books. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that and still have it available to my grandchildren. I could probably send them a book, you know, a print book of it. So I have to figure that out. But right now it's free, and it may be made into Kindle books and print books in the future. We'll have to work on that. We don't have the details ironed out yet. But the blogs will be up there, and they seem to be getting a good following, which surprised me and delighted me at the same time, because I just kind of did it as a lark for my grandchildren, So, but it's it's not just centered on my grandchildren,
Well, no, it's like anybody could enjoy them, and I think adults enjoy that, obviously, too.
It is fun. My kid Joey has he's got his sidekick Kato. Kato is a blue tick hound that is his sidekick, and he's in most of the stories. But he also has befriended a fire-breathing flying dragon named Sir Whip, and they have adventures together. And then there's Gramps Blade, who's a wizard, and Nana Terri, that's me, and I have shamanistic powers, and his grandma Crystal has a crystal ball in her attic, and it can be like a time portal kind of a thing, and it shows them what's going to happen and what's been going on. And so there's a lot of potential for stories in all of these characters that they've befriended. So it's Team Rojo and Friends, and there's Princess Rosie's companion was a magical owl who could make himself big and take her for rides. She's met mermaids and talking seagulls and gargoyles. She has a gargoyle that protects her. And the story around Gary Gargoyle was that, ugly isn't always bad. It's not just meant to scare off bad guys, or monsters. And he taught her to make friends with the monsters under her bed, that they're really good guys. They're just trying to hide out and keep warm in the winter, It's little stories like that, and it's fun, and I have fun writing them, and
Well, obviously you have an imagination that never ends.
Thank you.
Yeah, what inspires you that way?
Everything. Well, with the kids stuff, my grandchildren, I sent my granddaughter a real gargoyle. It's like a 12-inch gargoyle statue, because she was having nightmares. And she said, Nana, I keep dreaming about these little itty-bitty monsters that get in under the front door. And I was like, okay. So I wrote the story, and I said, okay, gargoyles are all over churches. They protect against evil spirits and monsters. I said, so I have one that's going to come and visit you. And he looks like a statue, but he can come to life if you believe it, and he'll protect you. And then the story around Gary Gargoyle, he tells her, these little itty-bitty monsters are there, but they're sneaking in because they're cold in the winter and they're hot in the summer, and they just want to be comfortable. So Princess Rosie makes friends with all these little monsters, and it kind of helped Rosie, because she was really having nightmares for real, And so I started writing stories about it, and then I started writing stories about my grandson, because he's older now, and he needs stories too. And so I thought, well, a dragon would be kind of cool, and the dragon breathes fire, so he toasts marshmallows and makes grilled cheese sandwiches and and so, of course, there was the one where he set the backyard on fire by accident because he couldn't control his breath yet.
Oops.
But, little problems creep up when you in the world of magic,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, they're very wonderful little stories, and they have a little underlying message to them too, and very fun. Yeah, the dragon roasting marshmallows and doing grilled cheese sandwiches and accidentally setting the yard on fire. Yeah, really.
Which kid Joey puts out? He thinks fast. He gets a garden hose. Everything goes out. It's fine. There was no real damage. Nobody got hurt. just saying.
That's funny. But yeah, I think that adults would really love it too.
Yeah, Yeah, apparently they do, because I've been getting a lot of hits. You know, Blaze will post about it on Facebook, you know, and I post it every week when it, as soon as the blog goes up, I post it so that my son can see and gets to read it, you know. And so, but I've been getting a lot of hits from a lot of people, and it's as many hits from that as from our horror fiction, you know. Because we also contribute to Friday Frights, which is, and that's also a free site for horror fiction with us, Blaze and I, and a lot of other writers that are extremely, extremely good. So, you know, catch the FridayFrights.ws.com. It's a very, very good site. A lot of fun. Good, spooky stuff.
Yeah, and they can also find you at www.blazingowlpress.com too, with a lot of stuff that's going on there. So you find out information, and yeah, a lot of good information there. Lots of different links that people can go to find out what's going on, and that. And so
Blaze has been putting up some writing tips, and he's very much into the publicity end of Blazing Owl Press, and you know, and my stuff and his own stuff, and he's very, very much more into publicizing than I am.
Oh, I know. The other day he said something about, you know, you being a star, and I said, well, you're a star too. And he says, well, I like to be in the background. I'm doing the PR stuff. And I said, well, that's what makes you the star too. Because
that's right.
That's right. Because he's shining.
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in any of this. I wouldn't have any interviews, because everybody knew him before they knew me. You know, and his site, his BlazeMcRob.com site is all kinds of writers and projects and everything from other people too that are equally good. I mean, if you know, I mean, some of the caliber writers that we associate with are amazing, and they're lesser known. Like the past couple of months, I've been catching up on my reading. I actually got my editing schedule straightened out and organized, and so I have time to actually read for leisure a little bit. But I've read Cindy Hernandez, C.L. Hernandez. He has a great Diggy Tibbs series. It's wonderful. I've read a couple of books by George Weinstein that are extremely good. They all have websites under their names, you know, and extremely good stuff. So,
that's one of the things, like I'm saying, is like you guys are so great about networking and helping other people, and supporting and networking, and Blaze McRob, like you're just saying, on blazemcrob.com, really does feature a lot of different people and helps so many people, and that really is, you know, a testament to your characters, and you know, really shining a light in our world and helping others. That's really wonderful.
And there's also Beverly Chilone, Cialone, who does book trailers, and they are amazing. And she also did a trailer for kind of a video for our wedding, and she is very talented and very affordable. So we like to, you know, make sure that people that are really good at what they do and reasonable, you know, as far as the financial end of it goes, you know, we like to make sure that they are known, and we plug them as much as we can.
Right, network and help each other. And
of course, Ella Shaw, you know, you guys, the publicity that we get and the attention that we get from you is just amazing.
Well, you're welcome, and I do that because you guys are so nice and help other people, and I think that that's such a important thing in our world. You know, I heard a rumor that you guys are going to do an upcoming kind of a multi-press anthology. What's that about?
Multi-press anthology.
Oh, that one is put on hold.
It's on hold for a while.
Okay, I'm just going off of rumors because I want to stay ahead about what you guys are doing over there.
Yeah, it's kind of kind of up in the air because some of the writers had issues, and it was just, it's going to take a little longer than we thought.
Well, it's obviously hard to like coordinate a whole bunch of different people.
There's an anthology coming out that I have a story in by Lycan Press, Lycan Lycan Valley Press. I'm sorry, Lycan Valley Press. And I have a story in there called The Skelly Effect. And there's a lot of really good writers in that anthology. And I don't have the information at my fingertips, but Joanne Russell is the editor for that press, and like I said, LycanValleyPress.com, I guess, and they have a Facebook page as well. So that'll be coming up, but I'm, like I said, as far as the information goes, I don't have it right exactly at my fingertips, but that's one you can look.
Now, let me ask you this too: are you doing illustrations also?
Oh, well, yeah, I do the artwork for Rojo, and I did the cover for Mist of Papoose Pond, which Blaze just released in at the end of 2015. That was fun, actually. Pixlr.com is a lot of fun to work on, and Blaze is learning how to use it now, too, and it's like he's addicted for the moment, because he's been playing with it and learning about the different filters and tools that you can use on there. It's sort of like Photoshop, but it's Pixlr, Pixlr.com, and it's a great tool. And I started doing covers for all of my Kindle books. I do my own, such as they are. Because when I started, I was...
Yeah, they're very nice, and I think that the Rojo stuff, they're really super cute. It's really great animation on there. I love the dragons, and that looks really nice. So that's cool that you just dabble in a little bit of everything. You're an editor, you're an illustrator, obviously you're a writer, and you're a social activist.
I can be. I can be. I do get my 2 cents worth in here and there. My personal blog has a segment for, it's called Pause for Thought, and it's a lot of op-ed stuff. It's a lot of opinion editorial pieces. And I get I try to be mellow, but I do make sure that, my opinions get out there. Of course, if I really get upset about something that's going on, it shows up in my horror.
Yeah. Well, that's obviously probably a really great way of like being able to get a lot of your feelings out is in your writing.
Oh yeah, and always has been. If I was a pharmacy tech for 7 years, and I used to tell people, regular customers that came in, they would come up to the counter, and if they were upset with their insurance or whatever, and then they were getting a little bitey, I'd say, okay, don't tick me off because you'll show up in a story, and they all knew that I wrote horror, so it was like, oh, yay! But it was always a fun thing,
Yeah.
It's always been woven through my life. So.
Right. Well, and obviously, like we were talking about earlier, you love to write, and that's what you made a choice in your life to follow that, and that's what you're doing. And I think that's a really good example for people, because a lot of people sit on a fence and go, God, I really want to do this, but I'm, oh, that's maybe too much work.
They want to have written something, not necessarily they want to write something. Writing is time-consuming. You have to make it some kind of a priority. I know when I was raising my kids, I used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, have 2 hours to write without being disturbed. And so, it's definitely a time investment and an energy investment. And it's just that. And then when you get done writing something, you have to edit it, and you have to proofread it, and you have to make it as perfect as possible before you hand it off to anybody, a publisher, an editor, or put it up on Facebook, or put it up on Amazon. You just can't. It has to be clean,
Yeah, and a lot of people don't do that nowadays either. So really, you're meticulous, and and that. So that's really good that you have those skills to do it too.
And as an editor, I've seen some things come across my desk, and I thought there were, gone are the days when I submitted to other publishing companies. I do my own, and we work Blazing Out Press together, but some of the things that I've seen that have come to me and been submitted, it's like it's a first draft, and maybe not even that. Some of it is, it needs to be completely overhauled, which is no longer an editor, an editor's job. It becomes a ghostwriter's job, and so it's scary what people think that is, ready for submission. But in fact, I've done a couple of right now articles, and Blaze has done a couple of articles too about what to turn in and what not to turn in, and editors' fees that should be sliding depending on how much work they have to do because of a manuscript's cleanliness.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun. Oh, and Blaze and I have we're brainstorming right now a children's book that'll be fully illustrated by us as well. But that's probably going to be down the road, at least probably toward the end of 2016, because I have a lot of editing projects for upcoming books for Blaze that I'm going to be editing, and we'll be releasing every couple of months. And we have some short story collections that are going to be coming out. That'll be fun.
Well, yeah, that's another rumor. I was going to say I heard you're writing an illustrated children's book, so that'll be something for people to look forward to also.
Yeah, oh yeah. That should be interesting because Blaze is very creative. He has 8 children, so he's well familiar with the children's part of the world, So it should be interesting when we start coming up with the ideas for for those kinds of stories for kids stuff. It'll be fun. And it's a nice break from the horror constantly. I mean, we both like that. That's what we rate the best, and and we have a good time with that. And we come up with all kinds of, we're inspired by everything around us, which is a good thing because the material never ends.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
But the kids stuff is fun too,
Oh yeah, and I think that's good, and it's kind of cool that you have that, opposites of things going on, really.
Yeah, it is polar opposite. I mean, although you can take some real life stuff and it's just in the way you look at things, because I can take last year, for example, I took a topic that I did for right now, okay, and I said make a cookie jar of writing topics. You put a topic on a slip of paper or a prompt on a slip of paper and put it in and just draw it out and write whatever you get out of the cookie jar. Well, I took that idea, which was a nonfiction idea, and I turned it into a short story where the guy's prompts in the cookie jar turned to violent. It says, go do something violent, and then write about it. And that was an interesting concept for a story, but I got it from one idea, did the nonfiction story and the fiction story, and so I had a lot of fun with it. So now I'm going to have to do a nonfiction story, a fiction horror story, and then change it into a kid's story. So that'll be fun. I'll get a lot more mileage out of prompts if I, and my little ideas for stories.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of fun there, and you have a lot of stuff going on all the time. You're very, very busy. You're helping other people all the time. And if you wouldn't mind, because I could sit here and list off all of the places that people can find you, but I'd like to let you do that so that people can hear, where to find you obviously your website and Amazon.
Well, if you go to TerriDelCampo.com, it lists everything else. So that's where to really go. And Blazing Out blazingoutpress.com, blazemcrob.com. If you go to the Rojo Adventure blog, it's rojoadventureblog.blogspot.com. But it's so much easier if you just go to terridelcampo.com and there's a direct link.
Right, because there's links everywhere that people can go to different things, which is nice.
And then there's our Facebook pages. You know, mine is terridelcampo-nelson.com for my personal Facebook page. But there's a Blazing Owl Facebook page. There's Blaze McRob author page. There's a Terri DelCampo author page. I mean, we're all over Facebook. So.
And you're on Twitter.
We're on Twitter.
You're on Google Plus.
We're on Google Plus.
Obviously, you're at Amazon.
If you Google, every now and then I Google each of our names, and it all comes up.
Yeah, I was going to say, and a person can always, Google, and they find you, because you do have a lot of stuff, a lot of books. You've got a lot of books that you've written. You've got the Owl's Eye View magazine, and we want to remind people that the compilation of all 12 of those issues of 2015 are now available in a compilation, and so basically they can get those for half price, and you can find those at Amazon.com. Owl's Eye View magazine.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on the author page on Owl's Eye View, like I've been writing the magazine since 2010, and I have best of Kindle books for each column, like the best of Swooping Through the Years, the best of Visceral Verse, and they go through, and it's every single Swooping Through the Years column that's been written since the inception of the magazine, and so, you know, all of that can be found on my Amazon page.
And of course, and of course people want to keep an eye out for some of the ups, because you've always got something new coming up, and obviously Blazing Owl Press, you'll have some more books coming up, and sounds like you may be having a illustrated children's book somewhere along the line this year, so people can keep an eye out.
Somewhere along the line it's going to happen.
Yeah, well, I know how you guys are, because when you say you're going to do something, you do. So that'll be interesting to see. And yeah, we want people to follow you on Facebook and Twitter and such, and keep an eye out for what you're going on. And yeah, you keep us posted too. What's happening there?
Blaze McRob's next book that's coming out at the end of February is Ghost No More, and it's looking like it's going to be a really, really good book. I'm editing it, starting at the beginning of the month, so I'm looking forward to reading as I edit. But and of course, Miss of Papoose Pond is out. It was out at the end of last year, and that's by Blaze McRob as well, and that's on his Amazon page, his Amazon author page as well. So, you know, we have lots going on, lots to keep people reading.
Oh yeah, and then of course, obviously following on your blogs and stuff in the Rojo Adventure blog. Keep on top of that, and I'm hoping maybe that someday that could actually be a book too, because it really is very cute and a lot of fun. And I know, like, yeah, it's not just adults like it too. So very cool, and I appreciate you taking time to talk with me today. I know you guys are really busy.
Fun, Renee. I always like to talk to you. We have a good time.
Oh yeah. And again, I just want to thank both you and Blaze for all that you do to help other people, and thank you for being a light in our world that way.
Thank you. I mean, if we would not be as well known if it wasn't for you, Renee, because you publicize and you share Facebook messages, and you do your thing, and it's awesome. It really is, and it goes way above and beyond your actual your professional services. You are a good friend as well, and you are the person too. You help a lot of people. So it's and you repost everything that we post, which we appreciate, and we do notice.
Well, thank you, and I think, yeah, if everybody did like how we do, well, the world would be a better place. So awesome. And that's why I appreciate you guys so much, and I want to make sure people are, staying on top of the news of what you got going on there. Find you and follow you on Facebook and the blogs and your websites and stuff. Blazing L Press, TerriDelCampo.com, BlazeMcRob.com, and obviously there's lots of different links and stuff there, so they can find out tons of information, which is very cool that you guys do that.
And the blogspot or oh my goodness, the podcast will also be up there when I get a link to it.
Yeah, and I'll send you a link. I'll have that and send you a link that it'll be on ReSource Marketing and on YouTube, and I'll have that so that you guys
cool.
have it. Yeah, and again, really appreciate you taking time, and thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you, Renee.
All right, and I'll talk with you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
We'll be looking forward to it.
Great.
You take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, cool. So nice talk with Terri DelCampo, and I wanted to just check in with her, and obviously Blaze McRob too there in the background, as he says he likes to stay in the background, but he's a star to me because of all the stuff they do to help other people, and really promoting other people's writing, and lots of good tools and tips that they do, and make sure that they're helping other people. And again, made a choice. I'm going to write, and this is what I'm going to do, and that's their whole life is centered around that, and that's really wonderful. So really appreciate the stuff that they're doing in the world to help other people. So yeah, check that out on Amazon.com. Terri DelCampo, a bunch of different books, and of course Owl's Eye View magazine, which is a monthly magazine, dark fiction. The whole compilation from 2015 is all piled together, and you can get that, so that's pretty cool. And check out the Rojo Adventure blog.blogspot.com, and of course Blazing L Press. And you're listening to Resource Network Radio. We are streaming live through Unity Networks, Wolfpaw Radio, and the Chat Room Network.